Well, hello everyone. I'm welcoming you to the first episode of the new series Zane Design. A series in which you will accompany me in designing a lot of stuff to my universes and stories. In today's episode, we'll be focusing on the design of 3 lunar weapons. I've decided to divide the episode into 4 parts. And the first one will be focusing on the Lyre of Silent Night. I've already made a design of 4 of the 7 nightly weapons of the moon, which you can find on my Instagram account, which is linked below. And also you can see it in the right upper corner as I prepare some reference to what I want to do today. Most of these photos, or actually everything beside my art, is from Pinterest, so it's easily to find. Without further ado, let's begin with the design. So for the first one, we'll start with something like crescent moon shape, I think. Cause what's most suitable shape for a lyre is then the crescent moon. Well, not. As you may see, this one is inspired by my aerial concept that I draw in my sketchbook, which is in the left corner. I really don't know what it should. I mean, I'm not a musician, so I don't know how the lyre actually works, but I think the essential shape of it to make music should just, it's not important that much. And it's fantasy, so you know, everything could be. I want to add something like made out of pure moonstone, which is a component part of all of the weapons I previously created. Because all of the weapons source material are dead wood, as I call it, and moonstone, and silver, of course, because that's the metal united with the moon itself. I know it doesn't look good yet, because that's just a concept sketch I've made. In the last episode I will do every concept in the more detailed version, of course. As it is a crescent moon, I wanted to add more like these shapes of phases of the moon to incorporate with it, because typically there is not much of a design possibility to do when it comes to the moon, and the most characteristic is the phases of it. I also wanted to add something like, which will make it more like spiritual, like this. I don't know what to call it, like this curved shapes of metal that bends around the main base of a instrument. It's not that easy to draw a crescent moon shape when it comes to sketching by hand. I could use like this circle creating thing in the clip studio, but I didn't want to go that easy. You may also see just like just lines on the main body. They would be like the runes of my alphabet I created, and it would be like the name of the instrument or something. Don't know that yet. but they are carved within the base of it. When it comes to the strings of the lyre, I don't really know if the diamonds I put on them are like possible. I mean, if that would make any sound, but if that's an magical instrument, it actually would, because everything that's magical have its own rules over the thing that works. And I think I would do it just because it looks nice. For me, of course. With the second one, I wanted to go with something more symmetrical and something more like shape in just how typical lyres shaped are. You know, the strings in the middle and the frame around it. So so the crescent moons are used for the handlers. I mean, that's the place where you handle the lyre, and there will be made out of pure moonstone. And in the upper part, I incorporate the Invarian arch, which is like used in the architecture and everything. And it's like my kingdom Invaria is like worshipping the goddess of the moon. That's why this shape is suitable for this one. On the lower part, I use spheres, which will be turned into phases of the moon, like in the previous one, but more of them. I wanted to look like close to each other, like similar to each other, because that's how the previous ones work. They have similarities. They are different because there are different types of the weapons, but they still have these common things that you may see. As for this one, like the crystal moonstones and these shapes, like spiritual, like I don't know what to call them. If you know, leave a comment. And I think this one is not that complicated like the previous one, because, well, if it comes to this shape, there are no like space to go that much, like how to put it in words, like chaotic with it. And maybe that's what I need to do for this weapon, like this harmony, as it is an instrument after all. There are gems, moonstones shaped gems, which are on the lower part as well. And I still go with these gems on the strings, and I've added like this hanging gems from the arches of the crescent moon, but I'm not quite sure if it would stay there, if that will be the concept I will go for, because maybe I would change it to something different. When it comes to the third one, I want it to be different, like maybe something similar to the one I have in my reference sheet. Like, you know, the main base is just like the stick that comes through all of the instrument, and the music strings like run around it, something like that. So I started with the gem that sits on the upper level of this instrument. and that's the part which is common, like this diamond shape, gem shape is mostly common in the designs of these weapons. As this is the main handler, I want it to be more detailed, like with this silver lining I did before on the previous ones. You know, the one spinning around it. And at the end it ends with the crescent moon, which will be the point when the strings are coming down to the rest of the instrument. I added the handler for the strings, which is like the curvy metal thing that comes from the crescent moon I mentioned earlier. At the bottom of the handler, I decided to also add the gem, which will like close the space and make it more like symmetrical. I've also decided to create the same like crystal handler like in the first one on the opposite side of the strings. Maybe that's not the best idea, but it like closed the shape of it. Of course, I need to add something to make the main stick a bit detailed, and it's made out of pure wood, so the carving straight line across all of it should be good. The rest of it is actually just like decorative things, like this little diamonds. I mean, that's not diamonds, but the moonstones that hangs from the part when the strings are. I changed a bit the gem that sits on the lower part of the main base, because it was like nothing special, and now it's more suitable to the pointing one. I also decided to put like these spheres that will fly or sits around this gem handler I've made, and they are of course like in the shape of the phases of the moon. As for the last of the day's weapon design, I decided to combine a bit of 3 of them. In this one, the main body is made out of crystal instead of wood like in the previous ones, and the crystal is then carved into the wood. and detailed with silver plates around it. As for this stick that comes out of the crescent moon, it resembled the shape of a symbol of the Lunarisa, the goddess of the moon. I've also decided to create this hanging diamonds shape moonstones under the lyre, which resemble to me the crown of Lunarisa. The last part of what needed to be done was coloring. I already gathered some source colors that I used in the previous weapons, which is like bluish, light blue, silver and white. I used dark blue for the wood material, silver or grey, as it's actually grey, is used for any metal parts, and light blue is used as a moonstone element. The additional white is like still metal or something and used as strings too. As you see, I've created 4 different concept art of the Lyre of Silent Night. And I want you to help me choose which one will be the design that we'll have on our illustration at the end of this episode. You can comment which one do you like to see as a full renderer illustration? In the next part of this mini-series in series, we will be creating the Book of Dreams. The episode will be, hopefully, apply after 2 weeks since today. So the video comes to an end. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you in the next part. Bye!